Hello gentlemen, how are you going? Module 2 living arrangements. Now this video here is the setup. What we're doing in this one is we're looking at your options in places where you can live and can move to, and considerations that you'll need to think about and make sure you tick the boxes and get everything right there. And also we'll look at the setup of that new place, okay? And now always with the children in your front of your mind. All right, so let's get straight into it. Here we go. Okay, well, here we go. We've got the setup now. What are your options and who can you live with? All right, so I'd say that you've got 4 options here. You've got either you can go with a friend and friends, you've got your parents or relatives, you have a shared accommodation, or you've got your own place. So they're your 4 options that you have as far as where you can go live at the moment. All right. Ideally, you want something that will help with custody later on, something where the kids feel comfortable and safe and secure, and ultimately something that you like, okay, and something that's something that you like and you're comfortable in. All right. Okay, so let's look at what that looks like in a best case scenario. So, okay, what considerations will need to be made now? Ultimately, you want to get 50-50 custody at least of your children down the future, right? Okay, so you need to consider that when you're looking at setting this place up. You need to have something that's close to schools, something that's close to extracurricular activity where they go to dancing or football or little league practice after school or before school. Something that's close to familiar shopping centres and not too far away from a familiar environment to them. Ultimately, you'd like somewhere that's furnished. Okay, you don't want to have to worry about getting more furniture in or waiting for furniture. You want something that you can just move straight into, and that way you can get your kids over a lot sooner. Okay, so something that's furnished is a good point. Now, I would say out of those 4 options, you've got friends. Now, staying with friends would be ideal for yourself, probably not for yourself and your children. If it was, it would be very, very short-lived. And if it was yourself, you'd probably want to make sure that you don't overstay your welcome. Okay, be mindful of that. Don't overstay your welcome. And if it is talked about that you could stay longer, all right, be prepared that you won't see your kids as much as if you had your own place. But be mindful that you might have to talk about money and paying for the right to stay in their house. Okay. Not ideal, I guess, but better than having a shared accommodation. If you were going to share a place with a stranger, a definite no. That won't help your case at all when you go for custody of your children. It's going to be unfamiliar to them. They're not going to like having a stranger. They're in the same house, and it's just not safe. And I don't even think about that as an option. The next one you have is family. Okay, family and relatives or parents. Probably the second best scenario, being in that it's familiar, they know the house, they know the people, providing that there's adequate bedding there. Okay, it's not a case of your children or you sleeping on a fold-out couch in the living room. That is definitely not something that's medium to long term. Even short term, it's not really going to work. So I probably wouldn't go in there unless you really have to. And it wouldn't be very good in the custody battle as well. Going for custody. So saying that you're living with your mum and dad and the kids share a bed and I sleep on a couch, it's just not going to work. So that leaves getting your own place. Okay, your own place is probably the 4th one and probably the best one that I would recommend. Definitely the pick of the options, okay, having your own place. Now, we did touch on it before. You need the right location and the right actual accommodation style. Okay, something that's clean, safe, secure for them, makes them feel welcome, makes them feel safe. Okay, adequate bedding, okay, is a big one for this. And also, I touched on it a little bit before, but with the schooling and everything everything they've got to consider and everything you have to get them to, how they're going to get to school is a big one. Bus, walking, riding, are you going to take them? Do you have a support network around you? Okay, if you're held up at work or you can't get to work or you can't pick them up, is there someone else that can fill in for you? Someone that can, help you out. Okay, so having a good support network close by. Okay, that's got to influence your decision as well. All right, very good, very key consideration there to have a support network around you. Okay, so let's move on now. So this is your place. So let's set it up and get the kids involved. So it's your place. Let's set up, get the kids involved. All right. So what I'm referring to here is it's a fresh start. Okay. And when you get the kids to come over very early in the piece, once you've got your place, get them involved. This is going to be your bedroom. This is where we'll do the shopping as you drive there. Okay. If it's not the same store as before, which probably it won't be exactly the same one, but yeah, get them involved. Like, this is where your toys are going to go. This is where we're going to leave your bikes. This is where your school bag will go. This is where we're going to prepare dinner. Okay, all these things, make it exciting for them. You really need to do that. They're just coming through a very hard time, okay? And their emotional maturity, as I've touched on, or maybe in the future I will, is not quite where yours is at. Okay, so make this exciting for them. They're scared. They'll be scared. They'll be apprehensive. Okay, you need to make them feel comfortable and excited about where they're going to stay and where they're going to live with Dad. You also need to, start new routines with them. Meal times and that can change, or subtle changes, okay, so they know this is Dad's place. Make it fun for them. And chores, okay, you can set those up, depending on age, of course. An early one that I can give them is making their beds, okay. It creates a good habit, okay, looking after themselves, looking after where they live, where they reside, cleaning their bedrooms. Okay, clean and tidy, and they look after it, they respect it. Okay, just like they'll respect you. If you can establish that. All right, so, because you want to get them contributing, okay, in some way. So then it feels like it's their place as well. It's not just Dad's place and they're visiting now and then. If you do get time with them, they do spend a few nights there, make it feel like they're making a contribution to that residence, okay, your house. All right, that way it feels like theirs as well. And that's a big, big ticket item. Big ticket item. Make it feel like it's their place as well, and they'll feel comfortable and they'll feel loved. All right, we've got a lot more stuff to cover in the next modules about those kind of things I just touched on then. But this is a good little guide and a good basic guide into the setup. All right, so in the next slide we're going to talk about domestic duties now. Now it's your place and you're by yourself. All right, so we'll get into that one next. See you in the next slide. See you, gents.